Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Greetings to all the honorable judges, fellow participants, and everyone present here. My name is Zaimatul, and I am from Kabupaten Rembang, and today I stand here as the leader of opposition during the motion. This House regrets OpenAI's transition towards a for-profit structure. Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a shameless opinion coming from the provision side today who explicitly said that the transition towards a for-profit structure is too hasty to be done for and can bring out massive chaos in the investment world. Before I begin, please let me clarify the key point of the motion today. Firstly, OpenAI was known because of ChatGPT. It was founded in 2019 and released ChatGPT at 2022. Ever since then, it was the most influential AI model to the world that brings out so many impact towards society. Its purpose is to ensure that with the artificial general intelligence or AGI benefits all the humanity. However, even if it was funded for charities and glorious reason to provide for the people worldwide, over time it will be undeniably insufficient for the investors behind it that did not get any profits at all, right? Which is why it was crucial for them to change the structure from capped profit with capped profit, which only allowed investors to earn profits only up to predetermined limit. If we think about it, it was us who were on their side. If it was us on their side, if we invest on a huge amount of something and still got too little on what you've already calculated, then it was disappointing, right? Secondly, a for-profit structure refers to the new policies or structure of OpenAI's Public Benefits Corporation or PBC model, because a capped profit structure is a business model in which investors are only allowed to pursue boost shareholders' value and does not limit how much profits the investor can earn. This operation is more beneficial for both the investor and the OpenAI, because in that way, it benefits both the company when the investors are capable of earning limitless profits. They're most likely to invest even further in the company and will benefit OpenAI in development even more to develop even more sustainable AI. What the provision said about this policy is extremely violative if the reality they assume that the investors and the companies where interests are doing a charity work, that they do not care about profits at all, and that they generously want to help with the development of humanity for the humanity's sake. They claim that when we have a capped profit system, in which a system where the investor only earned a limited part, will attract even more investors who do not think about intermediate profit and only care about developing something new. Let's just focus on the reality then. I can guarantee that we are naive if we think in that perspective. The thing is, if we thought people would willingly invest to a possibly $1 million work and expect nothing from it is hilarious. The reason why they invest in the first place is because they view them as a wealthy product that will pay them back a lot. They know the worth, and because of that, they invest to be the part of it and to expect even more in return. The investor cannot possibly throw money away over $1 million project and got little and limited profit when they can get far more than that. Even if they do not really care about the profit, the reason they're here for developing stations is because they need to know the mechanism just for them to apply it for their own purpose. Furthermore, the provision claimed that because of the new PBC model, the investors force developers to do a massive development regarding to the AI that can increase the scale of AI, and then it has the potential to disrupt the economy through job loss. We do not deny that AI brought a massive impact of the world at every aspect, but including the economic ones, and that it replaced humans on a specific field. However, we cannot just blame an innovation from happening just because it brings lower growth socially. An innovation like AI exists to help humans, right? To make their jobs easier for them with anything. In their job loss, the instances such as the government has to make a fundamental decision. It is to provide the public with even more capabilities, such as implementing job training to help the people build new capabilities that can benefit them in the future. Moving on to my arguments then, why is it importantly better with OpenAI's transition towards a for-profit structure? Firstly, when we change towards a for-profit structure, it benefits both sides of the companies. In the economics regarding supply and demand, this supply is determined by the amount of demand from the public. It also applies to the care. Because of the high enthusiasm from the public, it it raised the earning of the company, aka the OpenAI in this status quo, and the profit is high. And because we begin with the profits earned, we must know during the developing stage, the core foundation of the determined by the developers and investors. Developers built the model while the investors funded the logistic needed, which is why they played the most significant part in this. When they invest, they expected something in return, right? They expect the profits are gonna make up for the amount of money they had spent in the first place. And when their earnings are meeting their expectation and they got limitless profits with their investment, they're more likely to invest even more. This can only be achieved in a for-profit structure. A for-profit structure like PBC model also allows the investor to get limitless profits of their investment. And when they did, they'll invest further in the project, funding them with money to develop and progress later on, scaling the supply a lot more. However, if it was with a capped profit, they often get limited profit, and when they did, they'll think twice before investing again. Secondly, investors are not a charity institution. When they invest, they expect to get more profits. They expect them to get their money back immediately. They expect something in return from that company, from that investment. And with a capped profit, it cannot be achieved at all. It may be achieved, but there is a lot of time needed for them to get their money back. Investors invest in something because they knew it was profitable for them in the first place. They know it was beneficial for them. They are doing that to meet their expectations. They aren't doing that to be human, to help, or to be part of the future change. It was really just an investment that brings benefits. When we glorify the capped profits procedure, we substantially erasing the chances to business, to a worldwide business that can change their lives to get what they actually wanted. We cannot expect them to be voluntarily spend their money on something that cannot bring them anything in return. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that OpenAI has now turned into a worldwide commercial league, but those profits are replayed back for research purposes to develop an even high qualities of AI, and eventually the product like ChatGPT, basic and non-premium, still can be used for billions of people in the world for free. It is a win-win solution for both sides, and for all those reasons, proud to oppose.